So we are now on number 12, and this again is on your purple handout. So we're looking at municipal bonds where Maya pays $10,000 for a 7-year bond issued by a city. She received interest amounting to $3,500 over the life of the bonds. What rate of simple interest did the bond pay? So we're looking at simple interest. Remember, our simple interest formula was our I equals to PRT. So we need to look and see what do we have. Well, our principal is what Maya paid. She paid $10,000. So P is equal to $10,000 for a 7-year bond. So that tells us T is equal to 7, issued by the city. She received interest equaling the amount of $3,500. So that tells me I equals $3,500 over the life of the bonds. So we're looking for that rate. What did her rate equal? So again, like I said, we are using our interest, or simple interest formula of I equals PRT. So I is 3,500 equals the principal of 10,000 times the R times our T of 7. So this gets us 3,500 is equal to 7 times 10 will get us 70,000 times our R. To solve for R, all we got to do is divide by 70,000. So R will be equal to, and again, we can knock off some zeros. So we have 35 over 700, plugging that into our calculator, that'll get us to 0.05. So remember, again, this is the decimal. We need to turn it into a percent, so move the decimal place over 2, and this will equal 5%. So our rate is going to be a 5% interest. Now, a quick note on your handout is underneath this problem. It says for inflation, use the compound interest formula and n is equal to 1. So there's a little note there. All right, so number 13, the hospital costs. If the cost of a semi-private room in a hospital was $5,800 a day, $580 a day 5 years ago, and hospital costs have risen at the rate of 8% per year since that time, what rate would you expect to pay for a semi-private room today, meaning 5 years later? So we're looking again, what do we have? What do we need to find? So it was $580 a day, so that's our principal. It's going to be $580. And we have T was 5 years ago. So T is equal to 5. We have an 8%, so our rate is equal to 0.08. And what rate would you expect to pay for a semi-private room today? Because we're talking about inflation, that's where that little note came into it, where we are going to use n is equal to 1. And we are looking for the accumulated value because we're looking to see what is the value that we would expect to pay now. So we have A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT. So our accumulated value will be equal to 580 times 1 plus 0.08 divided by our n of 1 raised to n, which is 1, times t, which is 5. So you can plug that all into a calculator. Again, you probably wouldn't need to plug in the ones because those aren't going to change our value very well or very much. So what we're finding, though, is that it'll be approximately $852.21. So the hospital room has gone up quite a bit. So for number 14, we are looking at pension funds. And as we look at the pension funds, we are looking at the managers of a pension fund have invested $1.5 million in U.S. government certificates of deposit that pay interest at the rate of 5.5% per year, compounded semi-annually over a period of 10 years. At the end of the period, how much will the investment be worth? So again, what do we see in our problem that we can first pull out, and then we can figure out what we need to do with that information that we have located. So first of all, the thing we come across is they invested $1.5 million. So that tells me that is our P. So I don't want to write it as 1.5 million. I want to actually write that out. So it'll be 1,500,000. Pay interest at the rate of 5.5%. So my interest is going to be 0.055. Compounded semi-annually. So semi-annually tells me N will equal to over a period of 10 years. So that's my T is equal to 10. At the end of the period, how much will it be worth? Well, that's my accumulated value. That's what I'm looking for. So again, we're going to use our A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT. So this will be equal to 1,500,000 times 1 plus 0.055 divided by 2 raised to the 2 times 10. You can plug that into your calculator, and the accumulated value is going to equal 2,580,642.65. All right, so our next problem, going to be on our next page here. We're talking about investment planning. And with investment planning, this is number 15, how much deposited find out how much money should be deposited in a bank paying interest at the rate of 8.5% per year, compounded quarterly, so that at the end of 5 years, the accumulated amount will be $40,000. So again, what are we looking for? We're looking for how much money should be deposited. So that tells me we are looking for the P. Interest rate, so our rate, instead of 8.5, we're going to write that as 0.085 per year compounded quarterly. That tells me our N is equal to 4. At the end of 5 years, so T equals 5, the accumulated amount will be 40,000. So A will be equal to 40,000. All right, so we're back to the same formula. So A equals P times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT. So our accumulated value of 40,000 equals P times 1 plus 0.085 divided by our N, which is 4, raised to our 4 times 5. So now we're going to look at dividing by everything that isn't P. So we're going to divide this entire side by 1 plus 0.085 divided by 4 raised to the 4 times 5. I'm going to go ahead and write that as 20. So 1 plus 0.085 over 4 raised to the 20. So this tells me that P is equal to 40,000 divided by 1 plus 0.085 divided by 4 raised to the power of 20. When you plug that in your calculator, you should get $26,267.49. All right, so that would have been the principal to put into our account. The next problem we're looking at is number 16. We're talking about rate comparisons. In the last 5 years, the Bendix Mutual Fund grew at the rate of 10.4% per year compounded quarterly. Over the same period, Acme Mutual Fund grew at the rate of 10.6% per year compounded semi-annually. Which mutual fund has a better rate of return? So the first thing I'm going to do is look at what do I have for each? So when I'm looking at Bendix, it grew at the rate, so I've got my rate is equal to 0.104, compounded quarterly, so N will equal 4. The Acme Mutual Fund, so at Acme, I have the rate grew at 0.106, compounded semi-annually, so N will equal 2. Which mutual fund has a better rate of return? So this is where we can't use the formulas we've been using, but we're going back to our R to the EFF. That's where we're going to go back to figure out which rate is effective. Okay, it's an effective interest rate. So we're going to look at, for our Bendix here, we are looking at our REFF. So let me rewrite this formula here so you have it in front of you. This will equal 1 plus R over N raised to the N minus 1. So for Bendix, we are looking at our R to the EFF will be equal to 1 plus 0.104 divided by 4 raised to the 4 minus 1. Put that in a calculator and we will see that that's about 0.1081, which equals 10.81%. And this again was for Bendix. Now for Acme, our R to the EFF equals 1 plus 0.106 divided by 2 raised to the 2 minus 1. This equals 0.1088, which is about 10.88%. So which one is better? This one has the higher rate, so the one that is better is going to be Acme. So Acme has a better rate of return. All right, our last problem I'm going to do here is an investment options, and we have investment option A and we have investment option B. So A offers a 10% return. So for A, we have a 10% return, so our R is going to be equal to 0.10, compounded semi-annually, so N will equal 2. When we look at B, the rate is equal to 0.975, and it is compounded continuously. So which investment has a higher rate of return over a 4-year period? So T is equal to 4 for both of these. So in this case, we are going to use our A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N to the NT. We need to choose to compare these. We need to choose a comparison amount. So in our case, we are going to choose our P is equal to $1,000. You can choose what you want, but that's what we're going to choose. So for A, we are looking at A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT. So we are looking to plug in our values. So this will equal 1,000 times 1 plus 0.10 over N, which is 2, raised to the 2 times 4. And when we plug that into the calculator, we're going to get $1,477.46. For option B, we're looking at A is equal to the PER to the T. So when we plug those in, we are going to get 1,000 e to the 0.975 times 4. And when we plug that in, we will get 1,476.98. So option A is better. So A is better for that one.